when you look at all of this traffic out here, that is a lot of wear and tear on our roads. Now, the way we normally pay for that, of course, is gas taxes. But with more electric vehicles hitting the road now, that money is about to run out. There's a new energy here at the Connecticut March for Life. In spite of years of defeats here at the state capitol, abortion opponents are emboldened by the Roe decision. Believe it or not, this is what caused all this, a torn window screen. But because ballots are stored right behind this window, police took this matter very seriously. So if you're a driver, what does all this mean to you? Well, all the northbound lanes headed to Bridgeport will be shut down. That means all traffic will have to squeeze into the southbound lanes headed to Norwalk. The atmosphere is electric, and that's because the man of the hour, John Gomes, just got here, and he is with us now. You think you can pull off this upset?
We're optimistic.
Welcome to Power in Politics, our weekly deep dive into what's making news in Connecticut and who's making news. Why should my kids be forced to go to school with kids who are not vaccinated?
Well, kids who are not vaccinated do not pose a threat.
A lot to pay attention to in this speech, including bringing tolls back to Connecticut highways, vaccines for your kids, betting on sports events, there you go, and finally, even legalizing weed.
News 12 Connecticut's John Craven is here with this exclusive story.
This is a busy stretch of Capitol Avenue in Hartford. You can see there are lots of restaurants and bars around here. Police say Representative Comey hit a parked car here, then flipped over onto another car with a driver inside. And now, for the first time, we are seeing that accident. From a building security camera, you can see Comey's black Honda Civic crashing into one car, then flipping onto another one. According to a Hartford police crash report, that driver felt pain to his chest as a result of the collision, but declined further medical attention.
So what happened?
I don't know.
The Branford Democrat was unable to explain how the crash happened. And later, Comey failed 3 field sobriety tests before blowing a .144, nearly twice the legal blood alcohol limit.
It was really difficult to watch. She could barely stand on her own 2 feet.
Comey has apologized and entered alcohol treatment. Her attorney says Comey plans to return to the state capitol this year, but when isn't clear.
I'm hopeful, but it's going to be on her timetable. And we'll have a conversation if and when that time comes.
This stretch of Capitol Avenue is crowded. Before the crash, Comey was at Red Rock Tavern with 3 other lawmakers. None has commented publicly. Governor Lamont says Comey should not resign.
She's taking her health seriously and, getting treatment as necessary and doing the right thing.
But this isn't Comey's first incident involving alcohol.
I understand that she was able to...
2 years ago, she slurred her words on the House floor.
I'm sorry.
Later blaming exhaustion and too much wine at dinner. At the time, other lawmakers also reprimanded for drinking on the job. By the way, you can watch that entire police body camera video for yourself. Just head to the News 12 app or news12.com. In Hartford, John Craven, News 12, Connecticut.
John, everybody wants to know just how much they could save here.
Okay, Eric, before you get too excited, most of us would keep about $20 more each paycheck. But still, this would be the first state income tax cut in a very long time. The last time Connecticut cut the state income tax, we were all doing the Macarena. Now, 27 years later, Governor Lamont is pitching a reboot.
This is the biggest tax cut since the dawn of the income tax in the state of Connecticut.
A tax cut means more money in your paycheck. How much? On the first $10,000 you earn, the tax rate would drop from 3% to 2%. Your first $50,000 would go from a 5% tax to 4.5%. Workers could keep up to $300 more each year.
Yeah, more money into the paycheck is definitely something I'm not opposed to. So
we really need a break right now with all that is going on. And when you look at your paycheck, you want to cry most of the time because they're taking more than you even earn.
But the relief won't be immediate. The tax cut wouldn't kick in until next year.
As we pay down our pension debt, we expect $448 million of savings. So we need to get that in order to provide this tax cut, which is about that amount.
At the state capitol, lawmakers applauded the proposal.
As a Republican, I'm delighted to see the governor embracing an idea that we put forward last year.
But Republicans want to include more tax brackets.
We would like to see this affect more filers and more families.
Meantime, some Democrats would rather offer credits aimed at the working poor. But Lamont says it's time to keep the tax cut simple.
You don't have to apply for this. You don't have to fill out the forms. You will see a reduction in your withholding, which means you'll be keeping more of what you earn.
And get this, when you add in a bigger earned income tax credit, families making less than $50,000 a year wouldn't owe any state taxes. John Craven, News 12, Connecticut. These gleaming new apartments replaced one of Connecticut's most notorious housing projects. So why are some of these units now infested with rodents? Governor Lamont cut the ribbon on Soundview Landing. It replaced the crime-ridden Washington Village housing projects.
It's very nice.
Jody Ann Reed was one of the first to move back in.
More feces.
But almost immediately, her dream turned into a nightmare. Her brand new apartment covered in feces from mice.
They started to try to climb on my bed. They've jumped out into my garbages. They've ran into my couches.
Property managers brought in exterminators, but the problem persists.
We had, the governor, we had a lot of local and federal politicians out here for the grand opening, but not a lot of people are standing on that now.
Yeah, we believe that the response has been inadequate.
The Norwalk Housing Authority brought in a new property manager 8 months ago.
We have made clear to Wind Management that we believe that their work there needs to be accelerated.
Wind Management says we appreciate and share the concerns expressed by residents, and we are moving quickly to address the issue. Wind says they're closing gaps and access points and increasing bait stations around the complex. So where are the rodents coming from? The city thinks flooding on nearby Water Street may be forcing mice to higher ground.
How is this much feces normal?
Either way, Reed is tired of talk. She wants action.
My daughter, that's 7 years old, is actually scared to sleep in her room right now because she's scared the mice is going to crawl on her bed.
This part of South Norwalk is seeing a building boom right now, and some residents think that may also be part of the rodent problem. In Norwalk, John Craven, News 12, Connecticut.